The promises of God are yea.
Various segments that impacts you, our viewers, that enlightens you and our viewers, and educates you, our viewers at home watching us from various parts of the world. As we go on the show, this various segments will be unfolded and you'll be able to get one thing or the other from it. You can also follow us on our social media pages handle at Glorious Vision Television on Facebook and YouTube. Like, comment, and share. It's Thursday, the second day in the month of November. We are still in the starting of the month, so I can still say out there that Happy New Month once again. Here on the show, I'm not the only one on the show. I have with me beautiful and handsome faces. And even though the week is running out day by day, today being the second to the last day of the week, we thank God for life, we thank God for health, we thank God for being alive, we thank you for you, our viewers, being alive to see us this morning. We thank God that we are here to present to you this breakfast show. I have with me John, Tolu, and Jeff. Good morning and welcome on the show.
Good morning, Abigail.
Good morning.
You all look stunning this morning.
Thank you.
Jeff, you look stunning this morning.
Thank you.
You look stunning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Abigail already said that.
I look stunning. Thank
You look ravishing.
you. I'm blushing.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's Thursday rather. And,
Thursday.
Sorry, it's TNT, that is why. It's Thursday and it's another beautiful day. Like Bode will say, another beautiful day to be alive, and we are grateful. Second day of the month. The month is moving already, and we are getting close to Christmas. Thursday, throwback Thursday, a lot of pictures you see online, a lot of stories. A friend of mine sent me a picture of mine while we were in the university. I guess that is the final day of our paper, 2012, and I was like, wow, I have improved, if I should use that word. I have moved from where I am. So Thursdays like this, you see a whole lot of things on social media, and yeah, and you see them and you are just laughing, makes you laugh, put a smile on your face. So, and we are ready for the show today. Definitely we are ready for the show, and it's going to be a nice time with us and our viewers this morning.
Good morning to you. How's the family?
Fine. I'm fine. The family is fine. I just, you know, I want to rant this morning. I'm not happy with the way inflation is just, you know, the level it is now. It is choking somebody. You understand? You know, what is coming in is not increasing, and every day goods and services kept on increasing, and it's just getting too much. If you get something in the market today, when you go there tomorrow, you realize that the price has increased. And you know, sometimes one will sit and what do I, like you think of what can one do, and you look around, you know. Well, sometimes one will just be thankful that, you know, some people are going through worse situation than what you are going. But I just think the president of this country should just try and subsidize some things like the agricultural sector. Maybe you should just partner with them and subsidize some of our food, the prices and the production of food and all that, instead of giving us palliative that is not visible. Let them partner with the agricultural sector, let them partner with the transporters so that they can help in the area of agri and also transportation. Because if you go there, the amounts you usually go, you even go with double now, and it's not still enough. You know, so what do we eat? The money is not coming in. Goods and services is getting the prices are getting increased every day. Seriously, this morning I was just ranting that where are we going? And it's not that there's a particular price. It's not that the price is static. Okay, Gary is now so amount. Okay, thank God is just on this. But when you go there next to you realize that the price has increased. So is this how we will continue?
God will help us. Like we normally
God will help us.
Like we normally pray in this part of the world. We believe in God, and God will do everything. And most of our leaders, I saw a man of God, Pastor Sam Adeyemi, saying that our leaders are not about sacrifice, they're about themselves. and it's
And we
so
know
bad.
that for a long time.
So it's something that if until we have leaders that are ready to sacrifice for the betterment of this country, we'll not go anywhere. We'll not go anywhere at all.
It is not in Nigeria that our legislators and our representatives should be telling us that they are buying SUVs when the people they are representing could not even afford 3 square meters. Which one is important? Is it the SUV?
You are buying
or the
SUV.
food?
It reminds me of what I was discussing with somebody yesterday. I said, you are buying SUVs worth 57.1 billion naira. And we are technically, let's say we are, because the last count of population is 180 million. From there, they just put
about 200 million.
Let's even say 250 million. So if you give us 1 million each, there'll still be money.
Yes.
If you give everybody in this country 1 million each. So you can imagine. This is what we're talking about. They are not ready to sacrifice just about that. So
And you know that Nigerian government is the most expensive government in Africa. I don't know, maybe the world, but they are the most expensive government in Africa. And it's really telling on us. It's really telling on us. We don't know what miracle we're expecting, but we just, as we have been encouraging people out there, we also need to encourage ourselves. We just need to be positive that someday, sometimes, things will turn around for our good. Because, like you said, that you are not happy, you just have to be happy. Because you have your own personal.
This morning I was just thinking of the whole situation.
You have your personal challenges, and if you are trying to also look at the situation, the economic situation of the country, you gets one depressed. So you just have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Then you just have to cut your expenses. Just manage the resources you have at your reach. Huh?
Jeff, you agree with me that there are some expenses that I've cut and cut and cut. Yes, thank you. You cut to the extent that you cannot cut it again.
Because they are very, very important things that
exactly. You cannot cut it. See, for an adult, you can still try to manage them. But for the children, there are some things you cannot even manage at all.
You cannot explain that you cannot buy biscuits.
Well, let's just say
that.
Let's just continue to trust God to supply our needs. And I think he has been doing that. We have really been enjoying God's grace, because if you listen to some people's story, you have to oh, God, I thank you for mine. That yes, I can still put something on my table and for my family. So we'll come out, we'll get out of it. And
the government should try and do something
better each day.
We should keep, as Joanna said, we should keep putting our nation, Nigeria, and the government in a whole in prayers, as we said on Monday, no, not Monday, on Tuesday, about the power of positive confession. No matter what we are going through, to you, our viewers, let's always have a positive confession, and let's always put Nigeria in prayer. Things are really getting out of hand, but we hope for the better. Now, going on to the next segment, which is the newspaper review segment. We have different dailies with us this morning, and starting from my end here, I have with me the Punch newspaper, and the headlines for this morning are: Court stopped Fubara's removal, PDP governors consult Wike, nobody can intimidate me, impeachment not to coup, FCT minister insists, crisis will be resolved, says Fubara, PDP governors plan Port Harcourt meeting. We can read that on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. Crude shortage delays Dangote refinery. 5 others take off. Lack of supply to Dangote shameful, says federal government. Minister blames low production. I think they were this story is something that I was expecting. I was already hoping that very soon we'll be getting we'll start getting oil as fuel from this Dangote refinery. Looking at that, it's now almost getting to, it's more than 6 months now. Because it's more than 6 months now. They said it's within a year. Now we are seeing something that is delaying the production process. We just hope for the better, because I was looking if that could like fuel from Dangote refinery would come out, maybe the price, the hike in petrol.
Yeah, we are hoping actually.
We are hoping about it, but now we are having.
Still expecting.
We are still expecting.
promise.
We are hoping.
We are hoping, no, because
We are
Dangote
hoping.
cement is not cheap.
That's true. That's true.
Even Boa is Boa is now the cheapest cement in Nigeria presently. So at least it's now affordable, more than that of Dangote.
And that's what I'm saying. And Dangote
Actually,
cement
they were
is not
almost on the same
So-
price, but when the inflation increased, they came down on their prices so that people can
afford it.
and access the material.
Well, now we are seeing that the dailies is telling us that there's hindrance to the production of fuel. We can read that on pages 2 and 21 of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu seeks $7.8 billion, 100 million euros fresh loans. We can read that on page 21. Reps probe 200 billion naira spent on postponed census. This is actually a funny one. We didn't carry out the census, and the money has been. It's not. I don't just understand how it sounds.
Since the government is
Probing
probing
it.
it, so they will be able to give account on how they have spent
This
it.
is
But
real.
I know that then they already spent. You know,
Yes.
they were at the verge of starting the census before it was suspended. So they will give account.
I hope so. I hope they'll be able to be accountable for it. We can read that on page 8. My daughter's boyfriend blackmailed her to commit suicide in UK. That's from the father of the girl that committed suicide. We can read that story on page 3. Tax-seeking gunmen kill 40 in Yobe attacks. We can read that on page 7. And now to the picture story on the Punch newspaper, and also the headline from it says, traders lament as fire destroys 300 shops in Lagos markets. I was touched when I read this story because of people's money, both the capital, the profits, all gone. I wonder where these people will start from. So we can read that on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper, and that's all from the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, I have the Vanguard newspaper, and at the top of the paper, the first headline there says, Forex turnover rises 23% at NAFEM as exchange rate stabilizes. You can read that story on page 19. Wage award, 40% salary increase. FG dashes hope of workers can't pay MDAs. You can read the story on page 4. On Fubara, we stand with Wike, that's from Rivers Elders. No one can take away our political structure. Wike, you can read the story on page 12. More legal controversy looms over FBN holdings. That's First Bank holdings. Holdings rights issue. More legal controversy looms over FBN holdings rights issue. You can read the story on page 4. Foreign debt to top $51 billion as Tinubu seeks fresh $7.8 billion, 100 million loans. Total public debt to hit 130 trillion naira. Take note, our debt has hit 130 trillion naira. As World Bank commits over $11 billion to 3 years in Nigeria, says it's time for Nigeria to rise to full potential. Financial experts warn against new borrowing. FG now operating in debt trap. That's from Andoni. You can read the story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Non-performing minister, others will be sacked. Tinubu warns. Story is on page 9. Editors confirm excites Governor Eno. Corporate organizations, economy experts. The story is on page 4. Imo labor protest. One feared dead, many injured. NLC president brutalized. The photo news of the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Comrade Joe Ajaero, as he looked in the aftermath of the labor protest in Imo yesterday. And you can read the story on page 7. Anger as EFCC arrests 72 OAU students in midnight raid. That's a sad one. You can read the story on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. And an opinion from Olu Fason. Nigeria won the PNID case thanks to Britain's independent and incorruptible judiciary, but some corrupt politicians, officials, and judges cause its reputational damage globally and erode investor confidence. You can read that opinion on page 16. So that's all from the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, how we made the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The major headline is on the issue in Rivers State. Wike opens up on Rivers crisis. It says that nobody can take away our political structure. Impeachment is provided for in the Constitution. Fabara gets cause not restraining house on impeachment. Says nothing wrong if father and son have issues. So there's counter reaction from both of them, and it's ongoing in Rivers State. That story is on page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune. And up of the Nigerian Tribune on page 12, we have it that reps issues 72-hour ultimatum to AGF to submit report on 100 billion COVID-19 intervention fund. That is on page 12. And on page 10, the president is coming out to say, I must succeed by all means. That is coming from the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Tinubu, wants ministers at cabinet retreat deliver or get sacked. I like that one, whether you are delivering or you get sacked. The issue of the OAU student storming the FCC is on page 15, and on page 28, lifting forest ban on restricted items with spell doom for poultry industry. That is coming from PAN, the Production Association of Nigeria. That is on page 28. And on page 20, arrest warrant. Court gives Emefiele January 25 to appear over $53 million debt. Court gives Emefiele January 25 to appear over 53 million debt. The brutalization of the Labour president in Imo, that story is on page 10, and it's not a good sight. That is also the picture story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. The Labour president went to Imo State to mobilize workers on a peaceful protest, but he was harassed and even detained by the police. But the police have come out to say he's in protective custody, not arrested. That is on page 10. And on page 16, federal government needs 18.4 trillion naira to fix federal roads. That is coming from Umwai. Okay. And on page 23, after 72 hours of inactivity, Lagos Ibadan cargo train stranded at Lagos port. Delay caused by perversity of cargoes. That is coming from the NRC. That is on page 23. And still on page 23, which will be the final story in the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Akwa Ibom governor, Akwa Ibom government, corporate organizations excited over editors' conference in Uyo. Akwa Ibom government, corporate organizations excited over editors' conference in Uyo. There's something where I've been making the round in the social media also, that is on the back page of the Nigerian Tribune, which is sidelined. I will quickly read. President Bola Tinubu seeing unauthorized persons at the Federal Executive meeting, including his own son, called on the trespassers to order. But okay, questions must also be asked on how it happened in the first place. Eye service in quote from those who should be on the watch. So social media went agog yesterday when the president had to come out and give it to his son, Sheikh Tinubu, that was at the venue of the meeting. That why was it there, and other trespassers. And it's good to see that kind of thing happening, because
I saw the video yesterday, and I love the way it sounded, the warning. said no anybody that does not have any business to do. So he was not specifically pointing out his son. He said anybody who does not have anything to do should not be in that hall, part of the meeting. And he specifically mentioned about 3 names of those that are expected to be there. So that means that it is not just anybody's business. This is the business of the Federal Executive Council, not just anybody. You know, so I think I love that. Though some people are picking him up, that is just a face, he's just trying to make a news around what is not, and this and this. And this. But normally, Nigerians will react. You know, even if others are seeing positive side of it, others will always bring out the negative side of it. But on the right path, that is the right thing to do.
If he meant it, if he meant what he said, then, like you said, it's the right thing to do, because you see people taking advantage of the position of somebody they are close to, their parents or something, or all that. So it's really good for everybody to know his position. You can go, when you get into the house, into the room, you can do what you have to do. But family business, and try to talk to your father. But when it's on the public note, you have to know where you belong. So that's all from the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Well, thank you, Tolu. Thank you, Jeff, for reading the headlines on the dailies this morning. That's all from the newspaper review segment this morning. We go next to the next segment, which is the wise old saying of Pa Solomon. Good morning, Pa Solomon.
My children, welcome to the second day in the month of November. Good morning. How was your night? I hope you sleep well. To God be the glory. Praise the Lord. You see, in case you are missing me, you are meeting me for the first time. My name is Pa Solomon. Now the Bible is my watchword. You see, today is Thursday. The word of wisdom I have for you today. You pray for rain. Remember, it will come with muds. It's part of it. You pray for rain. Remember, the same rain you are praying for comes with mud. That is the word of wisdom I have for you today, Thursday. You are always praying for rain. Rain could be abundance. Rain could be prosperity. Rain could be riches. Rain could be fruit of the womb. Rain could be jobs. Rain could be anything good. But remember, it comes with mud. After rain, what did you have? You will have mud. After erosion, you will have mud. Mud always comes with rain. What am I saying in essence? All those good things you are praying for, they will come with their disadvantage. I mean, they will come with their, how will I put it? I don't want to use disadvantage, but maybe I will stick to disadvantage. Because there's nothing good that doesn't have a bad side. It will always come with bad side. So I want you to put that in mind. You are praying for the fruit of the womb. I remember a woman that when she was praying for the fruit of the womb, she kept praying. Anytime she sees children playing, say, when will I have my own children? God, give me my own children. By the time God answered her, after about a few years after, when the child started growing, the woman started complaining. He don't kill me. Your wahala is too much. You see? Your wahala is too much. I said, look at the woman that kept disturbing God for the fruit of the womb. Now the child has come, but the wahala now is too much. That is the more there. You will buy pampers. By the time the child starts school, you pay school fees and buy textbooks. You see? You be praying for a job. Remember when you start the job. Don't complain. You wake up early. You will resume early. You will receive insults on the job. you will receive different things. Disappointment on the job, those are the most. Yeah? You pray for rain. Remember, months come with rain. They come together. Rain will never come alone. It will never come alone. So whatever you are asking God for, remember it will come with its own side effects. No, the side effect will not even affect you. But remember it will come with something. No good things just come like that. Yes. That is the word of wisdom I have. But you are praying for promotion. You want to become an apostle, you want to become superintendent, they come with mud. They come with mud. They come with their own challenge. You face challenges. You face challenges. But God will give you strength to overcome. Only I want you to know that rain comes with mud. Every good thing comes with mud. That is the word of wisdom I have for you today, Thursday. I pray the Holy Spirit will interpret it the more in your heart. In the name of Jesus. Till tomorrow, Friday, we shall see so. I remember Solomon. The Bible is my watchword. Make sure that the Bible is your watchword. Bye.
Thank you, Pastor Solomon, for that wise old saying. It says, you pray for rain. Remember, it comes with mud. It is part of it. Thank you, Pastor Solomon, for that wise old saying. I know you, our viewers, you have learned one thing or the other from that wisdom that has been said to us this morning. We move on to the next segment, which is the discussion segment. And we'll be having a guest with us this morning to talk on the topic cervical cancer. And our guest this morning is Obe Esther Itunu, a registered nurse midwife. She will be discussing with us and telling us what we need to know about cervical cancer. Good morning, ma, and welcome on the show, ma. Hello, ma. Good morning and welcome on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So now going straight to the topic, cervical cancer. We know that cervical has its origin word from cervix. So can you tell us what is cervix? Like when we say cervix, to those who don't know what cervix is all about, before we go straight to cervical cancer, what is cervix?
Okay, cervix is an organ or a part of the organ of the woman's reproductive system. It's in conjunction with the womb, that's the uterus, which everybody knows as the womb. So we call it the mouth of the womb. That's what the cervix is. The mouth of the womb. It attaches to the womb in a woman.
Okay. So since we're talking about telling us that cervix is attached to the womb of a woman. Now when we now call it cervical cancer, what is it all about?
Okay. Before I say what cervical cancer is, we all know what the cervix is from what I've said.
Yes.
So cancer itself is just like abnormal growth of normal cells. There's a normal way the cells in the body should grow. But once they are growing in an abnormal way, it's called cancer. So cervical cancer is abnormal growth of the cells in the cervix. The cells of the cervix is abnormal growth. So that's basically what cervical cancer is. It's an abnormal growth.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, ma. All right. So what could cause an abnormal growth in the mouth of the womb? So what are the causes of, in other words, what are the causes of cervical cancer?
Okay, the causes of cervical cancer, we have, if somebody is exposed to the human papilloma virus, that's the HPV now, the virus itself, being exposed to it, that is the main cause of cervical cancer. That's what actually causes it. Although we have some risk factors, and we know there's a difference between risk factors and causes. Risk factors are what prone us to being exposed to the causative agent. And the causative agent is actually the human papilloma virus.
Okay.
So how can one be exposed to the HPV? How can one be exposed to it? Is it by the Hundi's we wear, or maybe there's a particular environment that contributes to being exposed to HPV?
Okay, the exposure is actually through sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Having several, like if somebody is infected and somebody who is not infected has a sexual relationship with the person who is infected, of course the person will get the infection if the person has not been immunized against the cancer cells itself. So being exposure is through sexual intercourse, can be sexually transmitted.
Okay. Okay, is it, sorry Abigail, so is it a kind of cancer that is being known? You know, there are some that you might have a particular infection and you won't even know due to maybe it's not so obvious, maybe it doesn't show sign in the body. So is it that kind of disease that doesn't really show sign in the body?
Okay, cervical cancer is just like every other kind of cancer.
Okay.
It's also a cancer cell.
Okay.
And in the early stage, there is actually no sign of
Oh.
until later, when the cancer cells have started developing, you know, it's getting to, there are different stages, like the second stage. The first stage, there's no sign, there's no symptom, everything is still normal until when the disease becomes advanced. And the only way somebody can know, okay, before the symptoms start showing, an infected person can know that, okay, this person has cervical cancer. If the person is someone that goes for regular checkups,
Okay.
for example, the screening exercise for cervical cancer is done, as it should be done in every woman of child reproductive age, and should be done within 1 to 3 years, every 1 to 3 years.
Okay.
So even if the person is not doing it yearly, every 2 years, the person should be able. That's how they can detect early that, okay, there are cancer cells in the cervix, and what can we do about it before it becomes haywire?
So, okay, Ma, you mentioned that, I want to pick from your statement. You said it is transmitted, it can be transmitted through sexual, when we have sexual intercourse. So, are you saying that it's been transmitted from the man to the woman? Like, does the man has that cell, that cancer cells that is now being transmitted to the woman?
Okay. Actually, we know that cervix is only in women.
Yes. Yes.
But this virus does not cause cervical cancer only.
Okay.
That is why a man can also have, it can cause other types of cancer like anal cancer, throat cancer as well. So the HPV, this virus itself, does not cause just cervical cancer only. So in this way, a man can have it as well and infect a woman.
Okay, I want to ask. Thank you very much. But I want to ask, this virus that you've talked about, how do people contact it? Is it something that you know? You talked about man, you talked about the woman. Is it something that has to do with maybe excess of some kind of food we eat, or some drink, or smoking? How do people contact this virus? Yeah, this virus that we're talking about, the origin of it.
Okay, like I said earlier, the most common way of contacting it is through sexual intercourse. But that's not the only way.
Okay.
If somebody's immune system, people that have weakened immune system, for example, people who are HIV positive, the drugs they take and the virus itself, it suppresses their immune system. They have low immune system, and when they are exposed to this virus, that's the HPV now, they can get infected, they can contract the disease. Then also other things are like chlamydia. Chlamydia is also an infection which is sexually transmitted. Someone who has chlamydia, it's possible the person would person will contract HPV too, the virus. Then we have other things like long-term use of OCPs. OCPs are oral contraceptive pills. The long-term use of it can prone somebody to be liable
Oral
to get this
Oral
infection.
contraceptives.
So majorly it's through the sexual history. If the person is sexually active, is one means, or the person has several sexual partners, or maybe the person is even a faithful partner, but the partner, like the person is with now, like this individual we are talking about, probably the partner has multiple sexual partners, and is still meeting with this person in question. So that's a way.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you very much. Before you take your question, we read or we have found out through research that fewer than 100,000 cases of cervical cancer in Nigeria yearly. Is it that people are neglecting it, or is it that government have not been doing so well in the aspect of awareness? That is why we have this large number of cases, and how can we get through and reduce them to the barest minimum?
I can say yes. Information is key. I mean, being informed is one way to prevent a lot of things. So a lot of people don't even know that this virus exists. I mean, majority don't know that there's something, this virus is everywhere, and it is until they are being diagnosed. And every yearly you see that people come down with, I mean, majority of people come down with this same infection. What is happening? I would say that we are not well informed about it. I mean, the preventive measures and the like, there is no proper information. And you can only prevent what you know.
All right, thank you.
All right, so
I will answer that, right?
yeah, you have. Okay, John.
All right, I have this question. Thank you for the one you've given us so far. The question is that according to statistic here, it is said that cervical cancer ranks as the second most frequent cancer among women in Nigeria, and the second most frequent cancer death among women between 15 and 44 years of age. Now, why or what could have led, especially in Nigeria, that this virus or cancer is prevalent among age 15 young girls in Nigeria?
Sorry, can you recap the question? The network was breaking into.
All right, I was talking about the statistics that cervical cancer ranks as the second most frequent cancer among women in Nigeria, and the second most frequent cancer death among women between age 15 and 44. Why or what have led to the increase, especially in age 15? Is it that this at this age females are prone or are exposed to contracting this disease?
Okay, thank you. I would say yes.
Okay.
Reason is because you see, you think age 15 is a small age, but it is not. Those of us in medical, we even see as like 13 years I have, ever since I've been working as a nurse, I've had like, I would say maybe like 2, if I'm not exaggerating, something like 2 girls, they are not ladies, they are girls, 13 years old, who came to my ward, they are pregnant for delivery. So even at my natal clinic, I have as low as 13 years old. So, I mean, you are feeling, 15 years old is a small age. Why should the person be, why should they rank that amongst the ages? But 15-year-old girls, now, you see that they are already engaging in sexual relationship. And this is the major risk factor. This is the major thing that makes them exposed to the infection. And being pregnant at a young age, at a tender age, you know, it just just like the younger somebody gets pregnant, the more the person is liable to getting infected because they start using their reproductive organs even before the age of, the brain is aware, the body is aware that, oh, I've reached the stage of maturity for this thing that I'm about to do. So it's just like hormones. It's hormones in the body. During pregnancy, there's a surge in hormones. There's increase in hormonal level, and all these hormones put together is part of what causes abnormal growth of normal cells in the body, which leads to cancer. So because they are within the age of the childbearing age, the productive age is 15 to above 40 years. So because they are within that age, and of course they have sexual contact, that is the reason why we can say 15 to 44 years are at higher risk, and the record, according to the record we have, the statistics.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So I would want to know, I was about to ask earlier on about the age range of being prominent to cervical cancer. So now I want to ask, is there vaccine to prevent cervical cancer?
Yes,
or to
there's
cure
the
it?
vaccine, and fortunately the vaccine is the immunization going on now.
Okay.
I think we all know about the HPV vaccination. So this is a vaccine that is given to prevent against the virus. So being immunized is just like other regular immunizations that we take, like the OPV, the routine immunizations for children. It's preventing against some infections, some diseases. So the HPV vaccine as well is preventing against cervical cancer.
Okay.
But then the thing is, HPV, that's the virus itself, does not cause only the virus now, it doesn't cause only cervical cancer. There are other types of cancers that it causes. So I believe the vaccine should be for prevention of the virus itself, and not just taking it as prevention of cervical cancer.
Okay. So sorry. Yes, we got you. But at what age? At what age should a female got that vaccine?
At what age should
You get the vaccine?
Okay, should get the vaccine.
Yes.
Yes, the vaccine is between the ages of 9 to 14 years, because it is believed that at this age, the girls are not yet exposed to the virus.
Okay.
And we are preventing. The vaccine is for prevention. So it is before exposure to the virus. So it's between the ages of 9 to 14.
Okay, so since we have a vaccine for prevention, I asked the other time, is there a cure for cervical cancer?
There is no cure, but there is management, there is treatment for it. And do you want me to go into that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, before you go into that, before you tell us about the cure, please, speaking earlier, you were talking about the risk factor, but you've not told us some of the risk factor and then the symptoms. You told us that at the first stage. Okay, I said before you talk about the cure, please, you mentioned earlier, you were talking about the risk factors, but you've not really told us some of the risk factors. And then you spoke earlier that at the first stage, we might not be able to detect it because you might not feel anything. But I believe at the second stage, so please tell us the risk factors and lead us into the sum of the signs and symptoms. So whoever is experiencing that would know that she had contracted the cancer.
Okay. First, let me talk about the risk factors.
Okay.
I think I mentioned that the virus itself is a major risk factor. That the human papilloma virus is the major risk factor.
Okay.
Another thing I spoke about earlier is the sexual history of this person, having multiple sexual partners and the like. Then another risk factor is smoking. Is a risk factor. Women that smoke are at small risk to come down with HPV to be infected. And this is the reason is because tobacco is present in cigarettes and all these kinds of smoke and the likes like that. So there has been a trait that there are some contents in tobacco that deposits itself in cervical mucus. Cervical mucus is produced by the cervix. It's something that comes from the cervix. So if people who smoke, there's a content of tobacco that has been seen in the cervical mucus, and this is why they are liable to be infected, to come down with the virus, then weaken the immune system. Like I said, people who have who use immunosuppressants, these are drugs that suppresses the immune system. And we have people like that gone through organ transplant, for example. There's a change in the organ, and normally, these are organs naturally created by God. What it is supposed to do, bringing the same organ into an individual, which is not naturally the person's own. You need to place the person on some drugs so that the organ doesn't work more than what it is supposed to do. And this is the reason why they place these individuals on immunosuppressants. So those drugs suppresses the immune system. And once the immune system is suppressed, the body is not able to fight against infection. So that's the risk factor as well. And another thing is having multiple pregnancies. Women, God will save us, They're having multiple pregnancies over time. Somebody is getting pregnant, like looking at people that get pregnant for more than 8 babies, 8 children, and the like. Then another thing is, I would say, economic status. And in explaining that, look at people who are not, someone that has not even eaten. I would person think of, I want to go for a checkup here, or every 2 years. I want to check up. I want to go for checkup and see if there's anything that is malfunctioning in my system, if there's anything that is going the other way around. So they can't even fend for themselves first before they think of that. And early detection, like we all know that prevention is better than cure. Early detection is a way to actually be able to pack up this whole thing. Then another thing is our diet. Diet has a major role to play in healthy living. Like eating of good food, fruits, vegetables, they boost the immune system and are able to fight against infections, not just the HPV now, like generally. It boosts immunity. Then there are some risk factors that you can't even change. At least when we talk about immunity, you can think of, okay, I will eat fruits, I will eat vegetables. But there are some things, there are some of these risk factors you can't change. For example, family history of cancer. You can't change that. You can't go to the person's family and say, okay, right from the foundation, I want to correct this. No. So somebody having a family history of cancer, not just cervical cancer itself, or maybe cervical cancer itself, is a risk factor that cannot be changed. So these are the risk factors. Then moving on to the signs and symptoms. Pain, that's one thing. Pain during sexual intercourse. Now, so for people that may be married and having sexual partners, pain during sexual intercourse, that's called dyspareunia. It's one of the symptoms. Vaginal bleeding, like bleeding from the cervix, is another symptom. And this is not the regular period that the person sees. Somebody having a cycle of 28 days. Every 28 days, the person expects to see the period. Okay, now coming in between, maybe after 13 days, after 12 days, the person is seeing blood again. It's another risk factor, another signs and symptoms that we can talk about. So pain in the pelvic region as well, at the groin, at the groin region. Groin is like at the pelvis. That's where the groin is, like in the junction between the abdominal part of the body with where the limbs join to the body.
Okay.
That junction is where we call the groin. So pelvic pain those are the signs and symptoms that the person may experience. Then if the person goes for checkup, we can see some lesions on the cervix. So those are the signs and the symptoms that.
Sorry, I want you to clarify something, ma. You mentioned earlier that between age, you mentioned a particular age for the vaccination. Does that mean that
9 to 14.
9 to 14? So does that mean that a woman between her 30s can't go for the vaccination, or what is the process?
Okay, they can go for the vaccination.
Okay.
Anybody, like according to what I've read and found out, anybody like any age can go for the vaccination. Okay. But talking about the present vaccination that is going on presently now, it is just within the age range of 9 to 14 years. Now, this does not mean that somebody who is 25 cannot go for the vaccination.
Okay.
But then, the person has to be sure, they have to make sure that the person does not have any strain of the virus before you can vaccinate, because vaccination is a way of prevention. If somebody is also already having a strain of the virus, of course you can't give the vaccine to the person. What you'll be thinking about is the treatment, early treatment you can give to this person.
Okay.
That is why talking about somebody who is 30 years taking a vaccination, it entails a lot of things. The person can't just walk up to the hospital and say, I want to take the vaccine. You have to be sure that this person does not already have this virus in the system.
All right.
Okay, so because of our time, ma, just in 1 minute, what precaution or can we take, or how can we care for the service to avoid cervical
preventable measures?
Yes.
Okay.
In 1 minute, ma.
You're asking 2 questions: precautions to take and care for the person, right?
In 1 minute, ma.
Okay. The precautions is just about being conscious of your of the person's sexual activity, sexual relationship, and also ensuring that you are not exposed to the virus. And like I said, a way of being exposed to the virus is through sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Then the care given, it's a cancer. Care given is either the person goes for chemotherapy or radiation therapy. So that's majorly the care.
Okay,
then
thank you, ma.
surgery is another thing.
Well, that's this. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Sorry for cutting you short. This is how far we can go on the program because of our time. Time is not by our side. It's time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you for honoring the invite, and thank you for the discussion so far. So to our viewers, this is how far we can go on the show this morning. We just discussed the topic, cervical cancer by Nurse Itunu. So you can watch a brief repeat broadcast by 10 p.m. today, and a fresh episode will be brought to your screen tomorrow by 9 a.m. Do enjoy the rest of the day and take good care of yourself. Bye for now.